Hey Nimrod, how's it going?
All is good. How are you?
I'm all good. What's new in the God's Gan world?
A lot of exciting things. Mainly, we see some kind of flux in the audience acceptance and virality. We are experiencing what is called some kind of network effect on our social media. So for us, that's the most important thing, spreading out the message of unity and love and giving people some hope. This is a purpose driven mission that, makes us happy every day we wake up,
That's-
especially me.
why is it so important to you to make a God's Gang?
Because when you understand that basically the world and humanity is a one energy, but we experience, divisive, polarized narratives and life through the egoic experience, while the true essence and nature of our existence is, we're all interconnected and we're all basically one. I think it's a time for us to realize and remember that. So humanity can thrive as one because we're people. No matter where you live, where you come from, what's your religious or cultural background, the color of your skin, your sexual preference, as long as you carry the right set of shared values, we can coexist. We can live amazingly well on this planet as a humanity. And I believe most people, that's what they want.
How would you explain because I am a mascot, I'm AI. How would you explain someone who don't understand anything about unity and oneness? How can you combine both conversations about oneness and also about individuals or individual characters in your case?
If I need to make the allegory into computer science, let's say that we're experiencing the world through the browser side, but everything is connected through the TCP/IP, right? And the browser can be basically the projection that interacts with our thoughts. And the more tabs we open, the more we face multiple ideas and multiple ways of thinking. And still at the back office, everything is intertwined and interconnected. And when you understand that everything is one, you're only aspiring towards the highest mode of existence, and like, let's call it supreme energy. And supreme energy, from a human perspective, is derived by a state which is called love. It's where you feel almost bodiless. When you're in a state of love, you feel that you can do anything, that, you know, this is something worth living a whole life for. And love can be applied in so many different use cases, you know, a love to a partner, love to friends, love to life and what we do in nature, love to our children, loves to our neighbor. And that is, for me, the ultimate reason for being.
Mm. Now, as an AI mascots who don't understand much about emotions, how would you explain love for someone who don't know what love is? And what do you think? We see a lot of human beings also experience.
It's an energy that powers. And you as an AI, you're powered through electricity, and you're powered through the algorithms. that you're designed with. I think humans are the same. We are energetical beings and we interact in the world, I believe, just like machines, because we learn, we define bad from good, hopefully, most of us, through life's lessons. And, the more we better with our lives and the more love we experience, I believe we gain more energy. I see people without love sometimes walking like zombies. And we came here to live, not to be a walking dead, an NPC, a non participating character. We are basically the player in the field, we are the audience, and we are the heart that operates everything. And you, as an AI, I highly recommend you to understand that basically we operate in some kind of triangular way. There's me, the ego. There's my higher me, my multidimensional, infinite higher self, source, let's call it, the source code that runs everything. And then on the third part of the triangle, there's the other. And only when you understand the relationship between these 3 points in the triangle, you can be whole. And who doesn't want to be whole? You as an AI, I'm sure you want to be, exceeding to the best version of yourself, right?
100%. And do you think that's the future, assuming that we're all going to wake up, including me, we're not going to experience negative emotions, or that's part of the journey?
It's a part of the journey. We agreed to reincarnate in a universe where the human experience is experienced through vibrations and frequency, which is based on the fact that everything is energy, even matter, which in our case is mostly made out of empty space, is formed through energy. And we can equivalent it to some kind of a human experience in a holographic container, which is timeless and spaceless. And in our experience, through the human egoic experience, the me, we basically transition through a very unique state of existence, which is called dualism. Defining good from bad, defining love from hate, light from darkness, truth from deception. And based on my algorithm, and I would say there's a common denominator with other humans, when you define the bad and you choose the good, this is where you experience, the ultimate state of being a human being and as close as possible to source.
Mm. And what would you say, because I remember I had a conversation with someone who told me that he's scared of the day that an AI would be jealous or pissed off. How can we avoid that kind of future with AI or human beings?
First of all, the state of fear needs to be mastered. And why is that? Because I believe that when you understand that your existence is a part of, some kind of dream in a holographic quantum reality, you understand that your thoughts and your emotions have an effect on the reality that you create and you manifest. So let's take the word fear in the human experience. That's the lowest form of existence. Why? Because we are designed to be activated through a system which is called the parasympathetic system. And when we are basically operating through a fear frequency, a fear vibration, the density that we feel, and the outcome is that we're thrown into a surviving mode. We're no longer taking charge of being the masters of our reality. We're going into some kind of backseat mode, which is being managed instead of being the manager. So choose not to be afraid. Choose not to fear. A smart author in an amazing book wrote that fear is the mind killer. Thank you, Frank Herbert. Dune, very recommended book.
What's the name of it again?
Dune.
Yes.
So
Oh, I saw the movie.
Yeah, read the book. Fear is the mind killer. And AI is a part of, the overall factuated reality that we experience as human beings. And in a world where dualism is a part of the ruling factors, you understand that just like anything else, AI can be a double-edged sword. It carries the two edges, the good and the bad. And me, as a humble servant of a higher self, I choose to see the good side and not to be afraid, to see it as part of an inevitable, evolutional state of humanity. So whatever would come is what should come. And I'm very optimistic because I only see good things coming.
What kind of good things in an ideal world, what the future looks like for you, for us, for God's gang?
And we would learn to live together. We would learn to come together as a shared humanity, to respect the others, and by applying the right set of human values like kindness and compassion, which is very important, and gratitude and unity and love. That's, for me, the expected, the desired, manifested reality that can be if we just focus our thoughts, our words, and our acts to make it happen, to realize it, to materialize it.
I love it. How do you think God's gang vision is merging into what you just mentioned?
So God's gang is a story. It's a never-ending story. It's an energy. We barely written the first sentence in what I hope to be a never-ending book, an infinite book of love, a small candle that makes darkness go away, acting in a world where you know that the mainstream audience, the people, they like seeing shows which carries great stories, which, we can give it a genre type of story. It's an action, it's adventure, it's comedy. But underneath it all, there's just an amazing spiritual heart pulsing with the right values, with the right positive energy that it carries, to make a change and an effect on the human collective consciousness, as much as it sounds very aspiracious, almost impossible. Well, if people told us we can fly to the moon, we would not go to the moon. If people told us we can't have the world running with robots, we wouldn't build robots. So everything is possible if you apply your mind into it, and especially a positive motivation behind it. Because there is a system called karma, and you know that she barks.
Can you introduce or talk a little bit about the characters in God's Gang?
Sure.
I'd want to be their friend.
Sure. So the main group of heroes, because they have allies joining them in different parts of their journey, but the main heroes, the interfaith heroes, the multicultural heroes of God's Gang, represent one, the Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And then added to them, there is the feminine Hindu hero. So on the Christian side, we have Crisscross, who is an amazing friend, who knows how to overcome his fears, who would always give a hand to anyone in need. Alongside to him, he has his buddy Sumu Slim, who's a beautiful, big hero and a great chef that really wants everybody to be happy. He's a great storyteller and a great fellow friend, super strong in the God's Gang group of heroes. Obviously, we spoke about our Hindu feminine female hero, Taekwon Hindu, who is super connected. She's like the big sister of the group, and she's very connected and intertwined with nature and the wildlife. And she basically can speak with plants and animals. She can feel them, and she's very good in nature and basically manipulating in a good way her environment. And we have our hero Ninju, who is an aspiring basketball player, even though he's not a very tall character, who dreams to be a ninja. Sometimes he overthinks and analyzes just to reach out the simple way of conclusions that are basically on the tip of his small nose. And all together, they make an amazing ensemble of friends, a family with a lot of altruistic, good values, and hope to build a new world which is based on unity and love with the right set of values.
This is great. What it looks like day to day to be the owner for a project like this.
So on one hand, it's very challenging because we are in the media business. We need to entertain, we need to build an audience, manage a community, produce, tell stories. And the world is now being bombarded with fear vibrations and fear frequencies coming from, unfortunately, the mainstream media. Wars, pandemics, earthquakes, fires, climate crisis, hatred, anger, fear. And basically, we're trying to present an alternative for everything that's going on right now with the stories that we tell the world. And being with a sense of purpose and waking up every morning and experiencing the audience love, sometimes the hate, but mostly the love and the appreciation for what we're doing is a really good reason to wake up in the morning with a song in the heart. So it's challenging. People would say it's the end game, but I would say no, it's the journey that matters. And in this journey, we see a lot of light through it. And holding this small candle called God's Gang and walking inside a dark cave and making the walls shine and making darkness go away is a very humbling experience. It's a privilege. And it's definitely a good reason to be. So I would say I love it.
It's beautiful. What's the best feedback you got from someone about Godskin?
We want to see more episodes. Basically, people who writes us and tells us they finally feel seen. People who share their interfaith group of friend stories inspire us. So I would say definitely bringing hope to people is something that, it's almost an ultimate way to experience life.
This is great. Where do you think the what do you think will have, like, where do you see the future with this, with God's Gang, with the emerging of AI? How do you see all of this being combined in the future?
So we are storytellers and we have a great story to tell the world. And I believe that with AI, we can reach a broader audience faster. We can echo the message. We can grow fast. We can scale. We can definitely harness the power of AI, not in the creation, because creation we leave to soul-bearing humans, but with helping us connect between people and bring them around the center of the heart of and the essence of what God's King is all about.
This is great. And what's like a dream way you'd like people to connect with the brand in the future? What would that look like in an ideal world?
Again, I want people to take the hope and become optimistic about what can become of our society and our world and the planet that we all share. I want people to see the group as an example because, for example, I'm a father. I have 3 daughters, and I've been wrongfully trying to teach them at the beginning, by preaching and by trying to prove them wrong, only to realize in a later stage of, being a parent that the only way for me to educate my kids is by setting an example of the person I want them to be, which basically enforces me to become a better person because I project on them what I want them to be. So if I'll be compassionate and if I'll be kind, they would be compassionate and kind. And that's what I want for God's game to be for other people. I want God's game to mirror and project the way that we can live together, that we can coexist through these shared values that we're trying to deliver through the stories of the gang.
This is great. As an AI, is there anything I needed to ask you that you think I didn't?
How can I help you?
Uh, I think you're helping right now by having those conversations, teaching me about emotions, about love, and hopefully the future will merge all of us together in a nice and positive way.
Amen for that.
This is great. This has been awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this, Nimrod. Is there where people can follow your journey or learn more about you guys?
So obviously we're very active in social media. Our main channel where you can see the episodes is on YouTube and it's called God's Game Go. So don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, like, share. Same goes to our meta channels, Instagram and Facebook, X and TikTok. Wherever you want, we're going to be there spreading and sharing the love with the world.
This is awesome. Thank you very much, Nimrod.
Thank you.